guys. We'll have a look at the economic calendar. We have Lagarde speaking. It's a medium severity, but it could be worth noting. We've got a BRE speaker, and we've got some CAD data out of high severity retail sales there, and some low severity US data, but it still could move things as well. And we've got an ECB speaker in 2 hours 41 minutes, so it's something to bear in mind. Very tricky day yesterday. It was very, very volatile. I'll show you just, you would have probably seen it, but we had a big sell-off on the US 500. Technically, we've oversold on the weekly and monthly range low, so we're definitely oversold technically. And however, sentimentally, it's a sell because the retail guys are net long. They're net long S&P and they're net long the US 30. But however, technically we're oversold, so there could be some sharks waiting. This is the PCR pivot, so we know we can think of this as a support. This would be like a short-term resistance. This is like a medium-term resistance. So it's got support, and technically we're oversold. However, I think possibly there could be some sharks around waiting to short it, and we want to keep an eye on the US 10-year as well. And yeah, so this is currently risk on, so this is a good sign for S&P. Alright, so if you come to this website, just type in the cnbc.com and put in the US 10, Y was the 10-year yield, and if it's negative like this, then we could be risk on. When it's rallying, then it's looking bad for stocks. When it's falling, it's looking okay. So that could be a peak. This could be the peak, which then would coincide with, you know, the lows that we saw, but we saw some horrendous selling and a big flush out, but it wasn't successful enough to flush out the retail guys. They're still holding on to their longs, so that's the worry, and that's why I'm going to be taking it easy today. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on that. It's easy to remember. US 10 year. Let's have a look at some charts. Where did I leave it at? So gold currently, you know, it's pretty strong. We're above monthly pivot. We are a buy. They sold it there. So the one below is 18.35, so we're close. $3 on above is 18.49. Just gonna look at this one quickly actually. Yeah, Aussie gold Aussie. So this is quite a good risk proxy. I was selling this, but I got stopped out. But I'm glad I did get stopped out because it would have been a lot worse. So it really did rally. However, just the level of interest, if you are trading this, it's unlikely you are, but it's quite a good one. It's quite lucrative if you time it right, but you definitely want to get out wrong quickly. You don't want to hold on to being wrong after a period of time, because, you know, it's quite painful. I mean, it could reverse, but then it could just continue, so there's no point in risking it. Know where your exit is, and so that's a little tip there. So it's quite a good pair if you want to trade. It's quite nice. 2556 is your resistance level. Aussie, obviously this ties into Aussie USD. And so monthly pivots here, it held pretty well. We've got like a rounded bottom there, which is quite interesting. So 71.82 is a level of interest. One above, 72.40, one below is 71.65. This is the largest stop loss cluster on any of our pairs. We are a sell. Alright, so sentimentally sell, technically buy, because we're that. They're going long, so it should be falling. So bit of a mismatch there. Dollar Swiss. Where are we? So there's your monthly pivot. Didn't quite get above. One above is 91.80, one below is 91.30. Volume nodes currently acting as resistance. As you can see, maybe that's going to be a support here. You see this volume node there? We are a sell, but we have been for ages, and they're selling it very gradually. So they know that should be coming up there, right? You could maybe argue that was the move. Pound USD. Note that the I'll talk about the bubbles at the end. Actually, the pound is actually the weakest. Alright, so bear that in mind. And the yen is the strongest, which is a bit bizarre. 136.60, and the one below 135.75. So we're 135.75 now, and they haven't moved their stops. They're going to get stopped out. So what we want to do is check the size after, and you know, that's when we can tell if we're going to get a reversal. If the size gets a lot smaller, say if it gets to 0.34, we'll go up because we're taking that liquidity. If it gets larger, it'll come down. Right? And it's good that this has fallen because I needed a weaker pound because I get paid in dollars. So if this falls, then it suits me quite well. But we are a buy, which is a bit strange. And but we are a buy on the monthly pivot, so maybe look to buy dips potentially. You know, look for supports on these wicks here. You know, you can just mark them up on your chart. Euro USD, and we're a sell. Monthly pivot resistance now, so 113.31. Yeah, we're 6 pips below. One above is 113.65. One below is 112.95 sideways. Dollar yen. I'll probably do a couple of yen pairs and then I'll wrap up. Hopefully the videos were useful. There's a diagonal. One above is very close at 113.91. We're 4 pips away, so it's likely. It's not large, but it'll probably grab it anyway. One below is 113.44. We are a buy. So it makes sense they would come up to get the stop loss cluster. However, they're going long over time, so that's a mismatch, right? Dollar CAD. I could do Kiwi as well. Just try and make them quite quick. One above is 125.40. One below is 124.43. We are a sell. However, we've got monthly support 1. If you've been watching my videos, you know that this MS1 holds quite well. For the last 3 months it's come into play, it's sold off into support and it is held, so keep an eye on 125.06. Alright, Kiwi. I'll just quickly look at some yen pairs because the yen is the strongest bubble, so we should see some yen strength. I think this was our signal to sell. I think we had many notifications on our signals. 68.15 and 67.18 we are a sell and they went long, so something this actually matches where it's a sell. Technically we're a sell here and we're a sell here, so we should be coming down to the stop loss cluster. Alright, so at least that makes sense. AJ, oops, yeah, AJ, so you know, because of the yen bubble strong, this could fall. Monthly pivot's 82.08. One above is 83. One below is 81.60. Euro yen, and I'll do pound yen. Try and make this quite quick. Euro yen, so there's that sneaky move there, so we can, maybe it's doing like a sort of wedge break, isn't it? It's a bit weird. Descending channel. On above is 129.15. 128.50. We are a sell and they went long, so this agrees. Everything agrees on EJ. Alright, so this is a good short, so we should come down to the SLC, which is 42 pips away. Alright, so that makes sense, and Kiwi USD makes sense. And let's have a look at pound yen to see if that is lining up. No, it's not. We're a buy and they're going long, so there's a mismatch, so that would not agree with that. This is saying sell, but then at the high level it's saying buy, so there's a mismatch. One below is 154.35, 156.55. I'll show you the bubbles. Remember, we are risk on because of this, okay? Which then disagrees with the yen bubble. Alright, so we are actually strong buy for the first time in a long time. The yen has come down here. The USD is just teetering on that 50% line, but we're actually coming down. So Kiwi yen, Euro yen could be good shorts. Alright, so keep an eye on this yen bubble. It really moved actually. It was over here yesterday, and then we had the big sell-off in the indices, and obviously it changed the retail mindset. So gold strong, CAD strong, Swiss franc is strong. Dollar could be strong, but it needs a nudge. Euro is weak, Kiwi is weak, pound is weakest. Yeah, dynamically, and Aussie is mixed. So there's only Aussie and USD are mixed, and pound. I think the pound's going to come up here, but we'll have to wait and see. So interesting developments on the risk. I'm just going to be taking it easy today. Managed to buy the dip and managed to get out at the ADR high on the S&P. if you saw my video, you can always just have a look at the video yesterday, but I was saying this was the ADR high, which we triggered. It did fall, and then I got out. I could have probably got out at the ADR high, but that was the range high for the day, and it did fall a little bit, and it really continues. So it's a good job. You know where your exit is. You should try and target ADRs, AWR, AMR. So this is the average weekly, average monthly range, and average daily range high. So that's a bit of a confusion here. So we could probably come up to get in the monthly range, but we'll exceed ADR. So that is really tricky. There's your ADR bottom. So really we should be in between those values, right? But we would have exceeded the monthly range. So either we go up and then we crack the ADR and we'd be in AMR, or we're just going to be in ADR, or we could break ADR. So if we do that, it's going to be really bearish. 4411, and we've got a long way to go. You can just draw some channels on here. You can see how bearish it is. And don't forget the retail guys are long, and they're buying the dips, so we have to be careful. Right, so that's that. Hopefully we'll get some COT data on the weekend. If Christian's not available, we won't have the COT data. That's not to worry. And have a good weekend. I'll speak to you on Monday.